Welcome to Carry On with Carrie Fitz. I'm Carrie Fitz, owner and broker of Carrie Fitz Real Estate. Our podcast has beneficial information to both agents and consumers. Today we'll discuss the importance of home inspections. Whether you are looking to buy or sell a home inspections are a must. What happens on home inspection day? Are there any advantages? A home inspection is a visual examination that checks the quality and safety of a property. This process helps see the overall condition of the property. A home inspector is a professional that has a thorough understanding of building codes and regulations. They are, for the most part, licensed or certified in this field. For example, here in Alabama, home inspectors need to possess a license and have it renewed annually. Remember, Alabama is a caveat emptor state, or buyer beware. It is on the buyer to do their due diligence and make sure that they have any and all inspections that make them feel comfortable moving forward with the property. So why is a home inspection important? A seller should be aware of the condition of their property, and a buyer should also know the condition of the home they're purchasing. A home inspection can add peace of mind to either a buyer or a seller. According to the Alabama Real Estate Commission, the seller nor the seller's agents, unless asked, are required to disclose defects except those which might pose an immediate health or safety risk to the buyers. That being said, it's the buyer's responsibility to make sure that they know what they're getting into, so you're going to want your buyers to ask a lot of questions. Some sellers opt to get a pre-listing inspection, or sometimes called a pre-sale inspection. This is when they get a home inspection before actually listing their homes. This not only provides transparency about the home's condition to potential buyers, but it makes the seller aware of any issues beforehand, and they can start repairing any of those issues before their house goes on the market. So next is to prepare your seller for the inspection. How can they prepare? If you're a seller's agent, you may recommend that they remove any clutter so the inspector can do their job thoroughly. They need to have access to all areas inside the home and make sure utilities are on and everything works. This is water, power, gas. If those things are not operating, if they're not on when a home inspector comes to do their home inspection, the home inspector is going to have to come back when they are turned on in order to do a proper inspection, and that cost is going to be for a comeback for that home inspector. They don't come back for free. There are some useful to-do lists online that can help your seller be ready for that day. So, who attends the home inspection? Different states do this differently. But here, typically the buyer attends the home inspection. Typically, we want the agents to stay away. Some agents tend to give their opinions, make remarks, good and bad, about the property, and nobody needs to have all that in anybody's head. Let the home inspector do their job. Let the buyer ask questions of the home inspector, and then they can go back and read things in the home inspection report when it's ready at their leisure. So it's best practice to attend as a buyer so that you can learn a lot, and the agent should know. Agents need to stay in their lane, yes, but they should know something about all the different contingencies in an offer, and of course a home inspection is a contingency. So you need to understand enough to be able to advocate and negotiate for your buyer during the home inspection contingency. There are also some agents that attend home inspection whether they represent the buyer or the seller. Here's a question for you. How can an agent negotiate credibly if they're not there to hear what the inspection says during a home inspection? Something to think about. What I do not attend home inspections, but I do communicate with the home inspector. I also encourage my buyers to communicate with the home inspector so that there's a lot of conversation to make sure that everybody understands and everybody is on board and at the same place. What happens on inspection day? These professionals look at the overall condition of the property, which includes the exterior, the interior, the heating, plumbing, electrical, all the safety features. The inspector surveys the property from top to bottom. It can take several hours depending on the size of the property. They check for cracks, leaks, exposed wires, uneven airflow, etc. For instance, in plumbing, does everything work properly? Does the flow in the sinks and the way the toilets flush, are they operating as they should? Electrical issues, what's the condition of the electrical panel? HVAC is the home of being heated and cooled evenly. So overall, they identify any problems and recommend the necessary repairs, or they recommend having a licensed HVAC person or plumber or an electrician to come in and check one more time, because that is their area of expertise, to see how much it will cost to get it fixed and exactly what the scope of the repair and might be. Lastly, they document and they submit their findings. What happens if the inspection fails? I don't really believe an inspection can fail. You may not want the house due to things that are found from the home inspector that are in the report, but it's not a pass-fail. It's either, do you want the property? Do you want the property as long as the seller makes certain repairs, or do you just not want to deal with this property anymore? So a buyer can opt out of the deal. They can ask for repairs, they can lower the price, they can do lots of things in this period to continue to move on with the property or not, and the seller needs to either agree with those requests or not. Lastly, home inspections are a critical part of the home buying and selling process. Not getting a home inspection could potentially cost you a lot of money in the long run. So do your due diligence, do a good job, ask a bunch of questions. If you can be there so that you can talk to the home inspector and put your eyes on whatever it is he's talking about. If you can't because you're out of state or you're out of town or whatever the reason is, at least get on the phone and get some clarification for anything that might be in that report. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in to Carry On with Carrie Fitz. I'm Carrie Fitz. Until next time.